Welcome back, Trigger Tribe. I'm Lena Miculek, and today I'm going to get a little bit personal, and I'm going to share the story of how I broke this shotgun right in half. But don't worry. It was just at a world level competition where I was trying to defend a title that I'd had since the beginning of my career. So we're going to go back in time to 2017, 2018, Lena in France at her very first ever shotgun world shoot that she went to by herself. That was me. It was terrifying. And we're not going to take you to the day exactly that my gun broke in half. We're actually going to start the day before, because this didn't just randomly break in half. I kind of made that happen. And I did that because I had a malfunction. And when you're at a world shoot, there is adrenaline like no other. And when I noticed mid-stage during this world match that I had a malfunction, I saw that a shell didn't feed out of the mag tube into the receiver. I defaulted to a pretty ratchety technique that's pretty common in the three-gun world for shotgun, which is when it doesn't feed out of the mag tube, you just kind of take it and hit it on the ground. So I told you I smashed my gun into the ground, and then the next day, mid-stage, it broke in half. But I didn't actually tie them together. So now I'll show you. So you see right here, this little circle. Well, this is usually a tube that's about this long that has the recoil system in it that goes inside the stock. And on the end of that tube or threads that a bolt goes on to hold the stock onto the receiver. So that recoil system is really important, and as I learned, connects the back half of the gun to the front half of the gun. And because I decided to Donkey Kong slam my gun into the ground so many times, and my shotgun was also extremely well used and abused before that, I caused a fracture in that tube, and then yesterday, under recoil and through functioning, it just sheared off the rest of the way. Fun note though, Mossberg now reinforces that tube. So, a little durability testing. It didn't just magically break in half. I kind of did something that led to me breaking it in half mid-stage. So, the day prior, I'm trying to win a world title. I'm going hard. You talk about adrenaline past my eyeballs. And I'm shooting this little short course of fire. And my gun, I go to pull the trigger, nothing happens. I take a look at the receiver. The bolt is locked back, and it hasn't fed a shell out of the mag tube into the receiver. And there's this kind of ratchet technique that I don't advise, that a lot of three-gunners do when their shotgun doesn't work, where they just kind of take it and they hit the buttstock on the ground. And just kind of like, the shock of it all, they'll like hit it and it'll fix it, usually will like help those feeding problems. So in the heat of the moment, my gun doesn't work. I see that. I hit it on the ground once. I look at it. It doesn't work. I take a step over to the 2x4 that's on the ground that is the fault line, and I Donkey Kong slam this gun into the ground repeatedly. Because I'd hit it, it wouldn't have fed, and then I would smash it into the ground again. I did that for, a couple seconds, a couple violent times. And then I realized that a pin had fallen out of my receiver, which then had made the shell cats collapse. And that was the problem. And that if I was to finish this stage, would need to manually feed them out of my tube into the gun to finish. That's not even where our story, we're just warming up, guys. So that's just a little sample of our chaos. So then I go back to my hotel room, and this was the first and only world shoot that I had gone to on my own. No mom, no dad, no friends. Well, I had friends, but no one there to work on my shit for me. Just me, which is not a great option. I get back, I don't like my backup gun. So instead of just switching to it, I take parts from it to rebuild this one, my main gun. And I get it all working. I go to the test fire range the next day. Some random dude tries to steal my gun off the range. Luckily, actually that would have been helpful if he had taken it, because it would have saved me in the long run. All that, I finally get to shooting again. Woo! I got a gun that works. I can still make a comeback from this epic malfunction. And I'm shooting through the day. We got 5 stages for the day. I've shot 2, and I'm on our biggest course of fire for the day, which means that it's the most points available. And I could probably describe to you the stage from memory, but I don't have to because I have a video that you'll get to watch where I'm just shooting along. Everything's going well. I make it past the middle of this stage and I start going, and then I take a shot, and all of a sudden, both of my hands come apart, and each hand has got a part of the gun in it. The stock springs shoot out of it. The bolt is dangling out of the back of the receiver, and I have no idea what to do because I can't stop shooting. I just told you all the stuff I did to work through that last malfunction, but my gun becoming 2 pieces, I had never even thought about that being a thing. So you can see in the video, I try and put them back together. I line the stock up, I push the bolt back into the gun, and I line it up, and I'm holding this thing on target like this, and I think, oh my gosh, if by some means I get this thing to go off, the bolt is going to fly into my face. I'm going to eat this gun if I can make it go off. So finally, I just lower my hands and look to the RO, which my favorite part of that whole video is when I look at the RO, he just goes, I don't know. I don't got nothing for you either. I'm glad. And yeah, and then I unloaded my gun and I had a broken in half shotgun. It's bad when the president of IPSC comes to pick you up on a golf cart to drive you back to your car within 5 minutes of it happening, because everyone in the range knows that Lena Miculek has officially broken her gun in half. So yeah, that's how I did this right here. And this gun is the original one. I have the stock somewhere. Sadly, I couldn't find it today, but yeah, now it's time for the fun part of the story, because so far it's just been pure tragedy, right? The fun part of the story is that I was heartbroken, devastated. Not only did I have malfunctions the day before that I thought I couldn't recover from, on the largest stage, midway through, my gun broke in half, making it to where I had the worst penalties anyone could have. A zero, pretty much 120 or 40 points to me, unavailable, zeroed it. I am not happy. I come back yet again the next day to shoot, and this guy doesn't know what he did for me, but a fellow competitor's father during the competition had come up to me and told me that his daughter was gunning for me. She was gonna get me. And then on the range, I remember being like, okay, we're all here to win. We're all here to be on the podium. Everybody's after everybody, no big deal. But after the emotional roller coaster I had gone through on my malfunctions and my gun breaking, I remember I was taking a shower in my tiny little European bathroom, not knowing what to do. And then that guy's words hit me. And I thought, how dare him think it'd be appropriate to come to me while I'm on the range trying to do this and try and intimidate me on behalf of his daughter. And I got mad, and I came back with a gun that was intact, a backup gun that I did not want to shoot because it was not as nice as this one that broke in half. And are you ready? I put down some hellaciously good scores, and I was indeed able to defend my shotgun world title with all of those crazy malfunctions and tragedies. So yeah, thanks random competitors, Dad. You gave me the fire I needed to kick ass after I thought everything was over. And it's a true reminder that the match is never over until the last shot is fired. And even if your gun breaks in half, you do not stop trying and you give it your all because you're there. It's the only option. Yeah, so this is my reminder of it. One day I'll put it in the shadow box with the medals that I won, but for now, it just gets to be this. If you enjoyed this video of my guns and our story together, leave a comment down below so that I know, so that we can officially make this into a series, because man, you can imagine I might have a couple guns and I have even more what I think are pretty epic stories to go along with them. Hopefully you found that story rather entertaining. I find it remarkably comical, and it's one of the wildest, most unexpected things that's truly ever happened to me at a competition, much less at a world stage. Well, that is, except like the hurricanes that I've shot in and having to like borrow everything down to a pair of pants. But I mean, do you want to hear about that? Maybe those will be in future story times. But for now, I appreciate you hanging out with me, listening to this one, and I hope to see y'all in the next video.